conveyor belt over to you, Toastmaster Jasmin. Good luck.
A teacher of mine once said, "You are all on the conveyor belt of life. You either keep going on, or you hop on and you hop off." My dear Toastmasters and guests, my name is Jasmin, and I am an independent textile print designer. Much like my name that has traveled across several lands and can pass off for multiple cultures, I too have had the privilege of living across a few time zones. With the stickers of 3 very global cities stuck to my suitcase, I have indeed hopped on and off a few belts. I was born in a very small and simple city called Dubai. Now I know simple and a city that makes viral chocolates and sprinkles gold flakes and everything don't quite gel together. Yet here's the thing. Back then, Dubai was simple and small. There were fewer people on the roads. Nissan patrol drivers actually knew how to use an indicator. And instead of the malls, it was the parks that were filled with a warm and buzzing energy and the buttery scent of popcorn. Life was nostalgic. Life was bittersweet. Nostalgic for everything was so simple, bittersweet, because like most expatriate kids who grew up here, I too had a hard time understanding my cultural identity. Growing up in an interfaith household, listening to world music, being exposed to different cuisines as a young girl made it a little hard for me to relate to my friends. Then there were trips back to India. There was always that one relative who would quibble and say something on the lines of, "She is not proud of where she comes from." Now, deep down inside my heart, I knew this was far from the truth. Yet there was this feeling of neither belonging here nor there that always loomed over me. A few months before turning 13, my parents took the decision to put me in boarding school in hopes to bring me closer to the culture. And so I moved on to the next belt number 2, expectation versus reality. Expectation. My parents sent me to boarding school in India in hopes to bring me closer to my roots. Reality. Not only did I end up in an international school, but also ended up in one of the cities that attracts a ton of expatriates, Namma Bengaluru or Bangalore City in Karnataka, India. Expectation. My parents hoped that I would pick up a few languages from neighboring states. Reality. I went all the way to India to learn Spanish, French, and about Korean skincare. The belt brought me to a place amongst like-minded people who taught me that I can be both true to my roots whilst appreciating other cultures. As I begin to accept this reality, the creativity in my veins began to flourish, and it was time for me to move to university. Now, belt number 3 brought me to a place that is so diverse that along with English, 3 other languages are also recognized: Tamil, Malay, and Chinese. Going to university in Singapore was what helped me tie those loose threads. I learned how to channel that cultural confusion into visual storytelling, that feeling of being different into my own style of art. I learned how to communicate via prints and patterns on fabric. Just like that, 4 years passed, and it was time for me to head back to belt number 1, home. As I landed in Dubai, there was this imbalance, this feeling of knowing that I wouldn't fit into corporate culture. I had dreams of becoming an independent visual storyteller. I wanted to design pieces that were not bound to one culture, one perspective, but were inspired by a rich and multicultural experience, much like the Dubai that you know today. Yet, one challenge that I still face, along with the other creatives, is the art of public speaking. Instead of being in the background like other creatives, I want to step forward, use my voice, embrace who I am, not just via my designs, but via every conversation I have. So TGIS, will you join me as I hop off the conveyor belt once again to conquer this challenge? Over to you, TM Modis.